Oui?
I've got Professor Hayes' bail money.
All of it?
Yes. 200 francs.
Very well. Then Monsieur Hayes is free to go. Come on, Hayes. You've made bail. Au revoir.
Are you okay?
Yes, thank you. Let's go. We have a lot to discuss. I'm terribly sorry for our less than civil surroundings. As long as dear Monsieur Lacoste is at my shop, it's a far from suitable venue for discreet conversation. At any rate, please make yourself comfortable. This tale is not a short one, but I'm certain it will be an interesting one.
That may be, Professor. Just bear in mind it's a long time since my last lecture. I need to find my friend. End of story.
I'm well aware of that, but if you ever hope to find your friend, you will need to know what you are searching for, and what may await you at the end of that search.
It's a new approach to me, but I suppose it couldn't hurt.
My academic research focused primarily on Tibet. I've been fascinated with its religion, its secrets, and its legends ever since I was a young man. I became something of an expert. I held a professorship, and sometimes I even received funding to lead expeditions. The last of these expeditions was with your friend, Yen Wang. As you know, we found a dead monk, pieces of a map, and a gemstone.
The Eye of the Dragon.
Exactly. The remains of the map held clues to a mythologized monastery in the Kembalung Valley. This hidden valley was said to contain the entrance to the legendary Shambhala. At that time, however, I only knew that the Buddhists believed Shambhala to be a kingdom where a dynasty of enlightened kings safeguard the most secret teachings of Buddhism. Of course, I always assumed that Shambhala was a religious myth, but the idea that this place could really exist, it was an exciting prospect, the chance for a truly sensational discovery. Unfortunately, the early onset of winter upset our plans, and we had to give up. I was never able to return to that search. Regardless, I compiled all the knowledge that existed on Shambhala. I studied all the available sources, retranslated old texts. The result was a picture of a mysterious place of indescribable power.
Can you describe it?
An ancient place. And it's not just important to Buddhism. Other religions and cultures also have ties to this location. There, my friend, is where all questions and answers have their origin. So that I may perceive whatever holds the world together in its inmost folds.
I'm not a big one for riddles, Professor. Could you be a little more concrete? I don't need enlightening, I just need my friend's whereabouts.
You may yet find both.
When do we get around to how?
How? By finding Shambhala, of course.
I'm not supposed to understand any of this, am I?
You want me to be concrete? Here's a very concrete story. It is the result of many years of research. About 10,000 years ago, a tribe of hunters and herdsmen discovered a colossal system of caves in the Himalayas. While they were there, their intellectual capacities suddenly grew exponentially. The technical advancements that resulted from this growth allowed them to settle in the caves. The people knew that this must be a very special place. At its center, they could feel a strong energy that seemed to be responsible for their rapid development. For these people, this energy proved to be a gift from the gods. They used this gift to build gigantic underground temple complexes. Within a few generations, a prosperous culture was flourishing. Science, art, and architecture were at a level far beyond what we know today. The people developed both a complex language and the first complete writing system. The energy itself, in combination with the rapid tempo of medical advancement, allowed the people to live to an extremely old age. Illness practically ceased to exist.
And these caves are supposed to be Shambhala.
Yes, I am thoroughly convinced that this is the case. However, you can certainly call it something else if you prefer a different name.
I don't know. Even without the dragon, it all still sounds like a fairy tale.
Well, the dragon... I personally believe that the dragon is merely a symbol, because the story continues.
Go on, then.
Something must have happened, because Shambhala was abandoned. I don't know the exact reason why, but what could have caused the people to leave this wonderful place, apart from a true catastrophe?
You mean they got attacked by dragons?
In a way. The dragon seems to be a metaphor for this sudden catastrophe. I can only speculate on the exact nature of this event. However, I believe it has some connection to the energy of the place.
Okay, so they abandoned Shambhala, but why is the entrance still locked up?
Only a few people survived the catastrophe, and they certainly had good reasons for keeping their knowledge of Shambhala a secret. They trained a sworn caste of priests who passed on this knowledge from generation to generation, and who continue to do so today.
Actually, I think the Nazis killed them all.
But there would be more. The caste of priests established 2 monasteries, far from any other settlements, in which to safeguard the secret. The first monastery was built directly over the only entrance to Shambhala.
In the Kembalung Valley?
Most of the priests stayed in this valley, along with one of the 2 artifacts that can open the entrance.
So you really believe that this secret chamber somehow leads to Shambhala? But that would mean that Richard is already...
Indeed.
But if he's there, can he still be alive? I mean, the dragon metaphor thing.
There's only one way to find out.
We need the second artifact, which is in the other monastery, right?
We can only assume so. The second group of priests hiked over the peaks of the Himalayas, the so-called Lost Horizon, until they reached the region that is part of India today. They hid the other key there, in a temple complex. Unfortunately, I never found out exactly where this temple complex is located.
But we have the Eye of the Dragon, and the engravings in the monastery say it'll reveal the location of the second key.
Only if we have the Keeper's map. And, alas, this is something I've long searched for. The only clues I've found refer to a remarkable map drawn up in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis. For example, this map depicts the ice-free perimeters of the Antarctic. As you know, that continent was first officially discovered in 1820, more than 300 years later. So how could Piri Reis have known back then how the Antarctic continent looked without ice? The admiral, who had a talent for languages, made handwritten notes on the map. According to these notes, he used sources from many thousands of years ago when creating the map. He came across these sources during a trip through the Far East. Unfortunately, only a small fragment of the map still exists today.
And the Nazis have got it.
What?
When you said the Admiral's name, so-and-so Reis, I've heard that name.
Piri Reis.
The German expedition leader, the Countess. She was talking about a map in a Berlin museum, and she mentioned that name. Piri Reis.
My word. Sensational.
It's a chance at any rate. If we can get to the map before the Nazis do...
You want to go to Berlin?
We don't have a choice. It's the only way we can get at the map.
Quite apart from getting into the country at all, the map itself certainly won't be laid out in a display case. How do you expect this to work?
The Olympic Games are on. We just need to look like tourists. Besides, it's a lot more fun if you just worry about these things later. Let's get the eye and get out of here.
If you say so. Lacoste must be finished by now. Let's go. Please wait a moment. The eye of the dragon is hidden in the back room. Here it is. See? Perfect condition. Just like the day we found it.
Great. No time to lose. Let's get the next train to Casablanca. Then get on a ship to Spain or Portugal. The further from the Nazis, the better.
It sounds as if you're no stranger to running from problems, young man. You remind me of myself a few dozen years ago.
Professor, get down!
Leave him. We have the eye.
Professor.
They've taken it.
Don't get up. I'll get help.
Don't be a fool. You must follow them before they escape.
You need a doctor.
No! Listen carefully. If you are found on the crime scene, you will be arrested. You cannot help me anymore, my boy. But help yourself and the others recover the Eye of the Dragon. Now it's up to you. You alone to prevent the Nazis reaching Shambhala.
Excuse me, sir. A telegram just arrived for you.
Thank you, Huxley. Anything else?
No, sir. I just wondered...
I don't need anything else at the moment. You may go.
German ambush in monastery. Stop. Richard's still there. Stop. Paddock to the rescue. Stop. Now in India. Stop. Send reinforcements. Stop. Waiting at Camp Hadley in Rangpur, North India. Stop. Signed Lieutenant Thomas Finch. Stop.
I'll have to consider borrowing Edison's press pass without his consent, but as long as he's sitting here reading the paper, he may notice something amiss. Pointless. He won't lend me his press pass. I've got to get my hands on one soon. I need to get into the stadium. Glenn must be there already, warming up. He's my best chance of getting into the museum. Baltus Edison, an English journalist. He's a sports journalist who hates sports. My mother taught me not to eat with my fingers. I'll ask first. Please don't ask me why, but can I have some of the stuff in this box?
You're asking me if you can just take my stuff for no reason whatsoever? I thought the British were supposed to be polite. Well, as it happens, that box is full of crap, so go right ahead.
Let's see if I can find anything useful. Oh, the lid came off. I'll just pocket that, I think. Jackpot. There's all sorts of valuable rubbish in here. A dried bouquet of flowers wrapped with florist wire. I'll unwrap the wire. Posters and flyers plastered on several layers deep. This camera ad's coming loose. I've pulled it down. What's that? There's something shiny under that grate. I love shiny things. It's only about 8 inches down, but I can't fit my hand through. Let's try and fish out that thing with the wire. I can't quite get it. A piece of florist wire. Strong, flexible, just like me. A camera ad.
I definitely think these contain helium, you know.
Let's inflate the little bugger. Great. That is the ugliest thing I have ever clapped eyes on. And Sandhurst had communal showers. Yes, well, that makes for the ugliest looking balloon animal I've ever set my eyes on. If I'd been given a terrifying balloon animal made from an old rubber glove when I was a kid, I would have considered myself lucky. Yes, I'm going to run away now.
Ugh, what is this? Where did this foul-looking thing come from? Here, my little honey bun. Here's a nice new lolly for you.
Another of my attempts to educate the public bites the dust. This napkin is mine. All mine. A bit of tidiness never hurt anyone. Apart from that one time I tried to clean the office and broke my collarbone. Long story. The only interesting things about this door are its large, round handles. And even they're struggling to get my heart racing. So, now the worn doorknob is completely red again. I'm a stickler for the little details. If I press the poster against the doorknob, it produces an interesting new symbol on my poster. Might just be long enough. Hopefully it'll stick. Ah, a Reichsmark coin. Can't help but think I could have spent all this time busking and made more money. But hey, it's something for nothing. Sort of. A napkin from Cafe Erica, smeared with ketchup. Always time for a quick natter.
Berlin Telephone Exchange, how may I direct your call?
If I can lure Edison into the cafe, maybe I can borrow his press pass. All right, I'll try my luck. Connect me to Cafe Erica at Pariserplatz, please.
One moment, please.
This is Cafe Erica. How may I help you?
Do you have a customer there by the name of Edison, Baltus Edison?
Yes, Mr. Edison is just outside. Whom shall I say is calling?
This is his editor-in-chief in London speaking. Please tell him that it's urgent. He needs to come back right away. It's about juicy goings-on at Buckingham Palace.
I will relay your message, sir. One moment, please. Mr. Edison, there's another call for you.
Who is it now?
Your editor-in-chief in London. He has an urgent assignment for you concerning the British royal family.
Finally! My prayers have been answered. Where is the telephone?
Follow me, please.
Perfect. This may not be a gentlemanly thing to do, but then, When has that ever bothered me? Edison might lose a job he hates. He might have to pay for the bus. But at least he won't have to live in a world ruled by super-powered Nazis. I'd say it's more than a fair trade.
I'm very sorry, sir. We do have occasional connection problems.
Not a problem. I'll go to the hotel and try to contact him from there. See you.
Goodbye, sir.
So, I got a press pass, and I look a little bit like the man in the photo. Apart from, you know, the glasses, and the hat. The goatee too, I suppose. Similar ears. I'll rub the lolly on the back of the poster so I can hang it up somewhere.
Careful! Do not touch my camera!
Don't worry. I had no intention of touching anything.
I spent a great many hours painstakingly setting up that camera, and it would be a catastrophe if you were to move it by so much as a hair.
Please forgive my curiosity. Allow me to introduce myself. Fenton Paddock.
A pleasure. Count Otto von Droste-Schattenburg.
A count with a camera, eh? Wouldn't say, an adding machine be a more appropriate device?
Please. I would be much obliged if you would not trivialize our conversation with such banal wordplay. I am a renowned photographer from Vienna. Have you never heard of me?
To be honest, no, I haven't. But maybe that's because I live in Hong Kong.
My work has also been exhibited in Hong Kong, sir.
Oh. Oh! That Count Otto van Dross Schattenberger. What are you taking pictures of?
I'm shooting images for my latest photographic series, Berlin and the Olympic Games. This work will be subtitled The Forgotten Landmarks. I intend to capture locations that are not currently the main focus of public interest.
I see.
Unfortunately, artistic freedom is becoming a thing of the past in Berlin. Photography is often banned in public squares or even in entire districts. This does not make my work any easier.
Your camera looks very professional.
Of course it does. It is the most advanced model available on the market today. It has a new setting that I use for experimental photography. I take multiple exposures of the same image at regular intervals. This allows me to capture different phases of my subject and depict them in a single photograph.
Ah, I see. So the position of the camera mustn't change at all while you're taking a picture, right?
I see that you know something about the fine art of photography.
Just an interested layman. Well, I don't want to keep you from your work any longer.
Thank you.
I don't even ask myself why I do things like this anymore. In any case, the sign's now sticky. Well, it's an impressive piece of creativity, but I haven't the slightest idea why I'd do it. Who needs wallpaper paste when you've got a lolly? This is ready to go up somewhere. Well, it's an impressive piece. Who needs wall? Well, it's an impressive piece of creativity, but... Hello, Count.
Oh, you again.
What's the deal with these photography bans?
Oh, political reasons. The government officials here believe there are certain parts of the city that may be unrepresentative of the capital's overall charm.
But the Brandenburg Gate's okay, right?
That's correct. The gate is to be the central focus of my latest project. A photography ban here would mean all my months of preparation were for naught. Several galleries have already booked the exhibit in advance. No, a ban here would be absolutely outrageous. But then, the Count von Droste-Schattenburg isn't just anybody. Even here I have friends in high places. Why, I would go straight to the magistrate and make my mind known.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Well, I don't want to keep you from your work any longer.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see if this works. Hello, Count.
Oh, you again.
Count, terrible, terrible news. I just discovered there's a photography ban throughout Parisaplatz.
What are you saying? Where is that written?
Follow me, I'll show you. You see? Up there.
Unbelievable! Outrageous! I am furious! Young man, you must look after my camera while I resolve this issue. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Count. The ends justify the means. I hope. So, we meet again, Argali. Are you taunting me? Is that it? Following me around and popping up at my lowest moments? Bad, Argali. Bad. I don't remember the last one having such a luxurious beard. The whiskers are stuck on tight. I could take them with me, but it'll most likely mean lugging around a whole stuffed Argali for the rest of the day. This guy owes me a favor. The least he can do is spare me some whiskers. I've clumped the whiskers together. This hat might make me look a bit more like Edison on his press pass, but I think my kleptomaniacal urges have been sated for one day. Hey, it's a real condition. That hat would make me look a lot more like Edison.
Excuse me, may I interrupt for a moment?
Oh, hello. Do I really look all that busy?
Well, now that you mention it, no. Is your whatever that thing is broken?
No, I just don't feel like playing.
Why not?
An artist needs an audience, attention, applause, and of course, earning a few pennies doesn't hurt either.
Well, I can listen, but I'm afraid I'm completely broke.
That's all right.
By the way, I really like your hat.
Really? I hardly ever wear it. I just use it to collect money.
It doesn't really seem to be fulfilling its purpose, does it?
And you're saying that's the hat's fault?
It looks a bit greasy. Maybe that's putting your customers off.
Oh, you might be right. It really doesn't look very clean, does it?
If you give me your hat, I'll give you something even better in return.
A connoisseur of old greasy hats, are you? Okay, if you can give me something good to replace it, you can have the hat.
Wouldn't this metal bowl be better for collecting money?
Yes, I suppose it would. Although it's a bit rusty, isn't it?
You might have a point there. I'll think of something. Well, I'm going to go have a look around the city.
Have fun.
Rust-free. I've got this polished metal bowl that absolutely isn't a rubbish bin lid. Wouldn't it be better for collecting money than your old hat?
Let me see that. Yes, this is good. It's sturdy and it looks a damn sight better than my old hat.
So, you want to trade?
Gladly. Here, take the thing.
Thanks.
Okay, I've got everything I need. Press pass, camera, hat, glasses, and the pièce de résistance, of course. The Argali beard. Time to get suited and booted.
But other than that, it was easy. I got past the guard, found the locker room, and here I am.
Well, that's a lovely story, Fenton. But why?
Look, we don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. I read that you're leading the decathlon, and you're just about to complete the last event.
The long jump?
Well, if you win the gold medal, you'll be invited to the reception after the contest. The museum where the reception is taking place is closed due to the event. No visitors allowed. I need to get in there and look around as soon as possible.
I hate to repeat myself, but...
Why, right? I know. I've asked myself the same thing a couple of dozen times. Do you remember Richard Weston?
Of course. You two helped me pass that test, remember? What about him?
He disappeared, and his trail leads to the museum. Well, the story's much longer than that, but for now I have to ask you to trust me. So, can you smuggle me in?
Absolutely. I couldn't leave an old Sandhurst chum in a bind, now could I?
Thanks, Glenn. I owe you one.
Of course, you are assuming one vital thing. That I win. Frankly, I've still got a slight lead, but the long jump just isn't my forte. That Erwin Huber in second place will likely pull past me at the last minute. He's the better jumper by far. He's beaten me every time this year.
So your lead won't be enough to secure the gold?
I doubt it. Huber always manages about 25 centimetres more than I do. If he's up to his usual standard today, and I don't manage the jump of my life, then those 25 centimetres will be enough for him to take the lead.
I see. I suppose I'll just have to cross my fingers.
Why don't you introduce yourself to Huber? You could be his date for the reception.
He's probably not my type.
And I am?
Beggars can't be choosers.
Very funny. Look, I'll give it my best shot. We'll just have to hope it's enough. Look at the time. I have to get moving. I'll see you after the jump. Well, Fenton, I've got to head out to the contest. I'm already running late.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Good luck.
Thanks. I'll need it.
Unfortunately, he's right.
Ordinarily, of course, cheating would never cross my mind. There's too much at stake. I need to get into the museum. So, business as usual. I'll take a look around and come up with a plan. I need to tip the long jump in Glenn's favour. Funny, I honestly never expected a Tibetan rescue mission to involve rigging the Olympic Games. Still, silver linings and all that. Just to be on the safe side, I'll slip back into my photographer disguise. Believe me, I wouldn't glue Argali fur to my face unless it was absolutely necessary. Or unless I was drunk.
The decathlon event is now nearing its finale. We'll be watching the remaining 4 athletes compete for the gold in the last leg of the contest, the long jump. The next jumper is Sander Molnar from Hungary. He is in 4th place after the previous contest. The jump is valid, but will it be enough for the Hungarian to edge ahead in the rankings?
Seven, 5.
7 meters and 5 centimeters.
7 meters and 5 centimeters. A great jump by Sander Molnar. We'll know in a few minutes if it's enough to earn him a place on the podium. The 3 leading athletes will now make their final jumps. First comes Lauri Askela of Finland, then the German Erwin Huber, and finally Glenn Parker of Great Britain.
I don't have much time left to help Glenn.
Hey, you there. The press isn't allowed in this area. You're disrupting the athletes' concentration. Please go back to the press area bordering the stands.
Sorry, won't happen again.
The judge uses the microphone to relay the jumper's distance to the stadium announcer. This measuring tape is used to measure the distance of the long jump from the takeoff point to the nearest sanding point. It's locked.
Nothing I can do with a pair of smelly trainers. The shoelaces, on the other hand, look absolutely essential.
A bottle of cleaner.
Sweaty sports clothes. No thanks.
They're all locked. It's screwed on tight. This hook here seems to be loose. Got it. A bottle of cleaner. Not that I'm about to pay any heed to what a bottle tells me to do, but it says, removes even the most stubborn stains. Warning, do not use on plastic surfaces. Contains the solvent acetone. Just needed a bit of leverage, that's all. The grate's off. Ah, it's the equipment room. A whole load of sporting equipment and measuring devices. Stopwatches, batons, several table tennis balls, and a measuring tape. They're all locked. I'll just take one of these with me. More lockers. I'd much rather leave them here. Adventurous though I am, perhaps I should just go the normal way. I can't see much, but it looks like a full house out there. Two long shoelaces. They're all locked. Two javelins and some hammer throwing and shot put equipment. The shelf's feet are screwed to the floor. That's some heavy-duty storage. I can't use the coat hook to loosen the screws. Yet. Maybe leaving it here will help. Somehow. Okay, it's all tied up. Time to get to work. It worked. The end's now flattened out. Now that it's flat, this makes for a pretty decent screwdriver. Let's get this panel loose. Ta-da! I present to you the inside of a locker. A judge's uniform. It reads, Certified Measurement Devices, calibrated by the IOC 1936, only for use by authorized personnel. Could be useful. I'm sure no one will miss these. The cleaner contains acetone. According to the label, this solvent shouldn't come into contact with plastics. My destructive tendencies are encouraging me to do precisely that, hence the table tennis balls. But if it melts plastic, I can only imagine what it does to human skin. I need a container of some kind. The bin looks pretty sturdy. Should be a good container for my little experiment. Wish I could say this was the first time I've done something like this. The solvent's dissolving the balls. All that's left is a sticky mush and a fierce stench. Smells a bit like thorn apple. I could use the sharp edge to cut the measuring tape and then alter it. Won't be long before Glenn discovers his inner champion. I rather sense a plan taking shape. I'll cut another 25 centimeters off the 1 meter piece. That's the exact length Glenn needs to beat his competitor's best distance. I can probably glue this back onto the original tape. I guess the molten plastic will do the job.
Perfect. I'll glue the shortened piece back onto the original roll. Job done. Okay. I've got the rigged measuring tape ready, but to make this work, I've got to smuggle it into the long jump area somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the grand finale of the Olympic decathlon. In just a few moments, Erwin Huber of Germany will step up to compete. I'd like to ask for quiet from the stands so that the athletes can concentrate. An excellent effort. That was quite a jump. Could Erwin Huber have beaten his own record?
750.
7 meters and 50 centimeters.
7 meters and 50 centimeters. Fantastic! Erwin Huber has topped his own personal best. This will make it very, very difficult for Glenn Parker to defend his lead in the overall standings. Parker is heading to the track. In just a few minutes, his performance in the long jump will determine the gold medal decathlon winner.
I'm really running out of time here. I've got to swap the tape, but I'll struggle as long as those two judges are still standing over it. Looks like it would give me a nasty shock. The spark set the flowers alight. Good plan, Fenton. The fire gradually burns through the cables, then the lights on the long jump area go out, interrupting the event, and I'm long gone before anyone realizes what's happened. Let's be honest, that's the best bit. Let's get out of here.
Berlin is holding its collective breath. The final decision in the decathlon is rapidly approaching. Glenn Parker is warming up on the track for his decisive jump. I'd like to ask the spectators in the stands to remain quiet because... One moment. We seem to be experiencing technical difficulties in the long jump area.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
What's wrong?
What do you think is wrong? There's a complete power failure in this part of the stadium. Must be another problem with the cables. I'll go check. Come with me. I might need your help.
Shouldn't the technician take care of it?
Sure, in about 3 hours' time. We can't put the Olympic Games on hold. Can you keep an eye on things while we try to fix the problem?
But of course. Just leave everything in my capable hands.
I've just been told that we're doing everything possible to fix the problem. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure the long jump contest will resume shortly.
The perfect time to swap the tapes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our technical problems have been solved. The judges are returning to their seats, and we can continue. The big question, though, is will the interruption have put Glenn Parker off his stride? I see that he's returning to his starting position. Any minute now, he'll be making his decisive jump. The jump is valid, but was it far enough? From here, it doesn't seem like he came anywhere near Erwin Huber. But what do the measurements say?
7:35.
7 meters and 35 centimeters.
7 meters and 35 centimeters! That puts him just behind Erwin Huber in this final event, but it's just enough for Glenn Parker of Great Britain to take the gold medal. His lead may have been minuscule, but that's a minor detail. Glenn Parker has won the 1936 Olympic decathlon. Erwin Huber will have to be satisfied with silver, and Lauri Askela of Finland has earned bronze. And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of this year's decathlon.
I hope history will forgive me. I mean, I may have betrayed the centuries-old Olympic spirit and cheated a man out of his gold medal. But come on. I am here saving the world, so I'll finally be able to get into the museum. Countess von Hagenhild had better be there with what I need. Glenn had better have a spare dinner jacket as well.
Cheers, Glenn. I really owe you one.
No problem. Sure you don't fancy a drink to celebrate?
Believe you me, once I'm done on this job, I'll be holding a liquid celebration for a solid week. For now, I just need to find a way down into the lower levels.
Then I won't keep you. Maybe I'll see you at the next Sandhurst reunion.
Sure, if I get an invitation this year. What is it about smuggling they have such an issue with?
Heaven knows. Well, good luck with your search for Richard. It was great to see you again, Fenton.
Thanks, Glenn. You take care.
This scarf could prove useful at some point. Ooh, almost got caught there. Perhaps a little too la-di-da for my tastes. Besides, I am supposed to be finding a way downstairs. The guy in the foyer said that whole area was off limits. I'd bet my old Ford, if I still had it, that that's where the Countess is hiding the eye and the map. But the party's just getting started. Oh, and yes, I am supposed to be saving the world. I'll just take the red... No, what the hell. I'll take the whole bloody thing with me. Why not? These people need to learn how to hold their bladders. We used to go 48 hours with our legs crossed in intensive training. Let's just close this whole area off. A bottle of champagne and a glass. If the plonk were cheaper, it'd be the spit of my bedside table. It's the cloakroom. It's summer. No one really needs a beautiful scarf like this. The lid's closed, but I can't see a lock. The cupboard door is locked. Looks like a small cupboard. Well, no, it's definitely a small cupboard. I mean, just look at it. It's cupboard-shaped and small. A heavy door. Surprise. It's locked. The cupboard door is locked.
There's a champagne cork in this glass. I'll have that, shall I? Collecting champagne corks isn't one of my hobbies, but I'll hold on to the little wire cap. It's a pretty basic lock. I should be able to get it open. This cupboard is full of cleaning supplies. I'll take a mop and... yes, why not? A jar of hydrochloric acid.